Ray Koob on Philadelphia's Classic Rock 102.9 MGK with the one and only Jon Anderson. How are you, man?
Philadelphia, yes.
It is so good to hear your voice, Jon, and I've been hearing your voice on a new album that is just fantastic.
Thank you.
It's the Anderson Ponte Band, and the album's called Better Late Than Never, out on September 25th. It's a great collaboration, I got to tell you. Is the title, Jon, a reference to the journey of time and space that it took you and Jean-Luc Ponty to finally bring this project to fruition?
30 years later.
Oh, my God.
A lifetime.
And what, you guys have known each other and wanted to do this for a long time. What got in the way?
I think life.
I guess Yes got in the way for some of those years.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, I met him when he was working with my Vishnu Orchestra, one of my favorite bands. And I said then, I'd love to sing with your band, the Vishnu Orchestra. Wow. And then we bumped into each other again a couple of times at some celebration for music in New York. And then, actually, last year, a friend of mine was working on a song, and he said he knew Jean-Luc Ponty, and he was going to put him on the song. I said, oh, very good. And then I heard it, and I thought, oh, my gosh, my voice and then his violin together, there's some synergy there. So I just got in touch with him.
It's just so funny. You found the time to do it, and I have to tell you, whatever the journey was, it was worth it. It is an amazing album. It's called Better Late Than Never. Make sure you check it out. It's out everywhere. It's September 25th.
Yep.
Now, you're touring together, and that's good news for people who love you and love your music. Your tour together brings you to the Keswick Theater in Glenside on October 27th. It's a place you're familiar with, and you must feel right at home there.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I've been there 3 or 4 times now. Always a great audience, no matter what. I mean, Philadelphia is, it's one of those places in my life I can never forget.
It's a long-time love affair, and I've been lucky enough to be there for a good part of the ride, shall we say.
That's true.
Ray Koob talking with Jon Anderson, who's got this great new album, Anderson Ponte Band, Better Late Than Never. You reworked some Yes songs. How did you choose those songs for this project?
Well, I think when we decided, I knew we had about 3 or 4 new songs and a couple of classics of Jean-Luc's, and I thought, we're going to put on a show, play to people. They want to hear Yes music as much as I want to sing it. So we picked out Wondrous Stories, And You and I, and On of a Lonely Heart, and Roundabout, simply because when people come to see a show, they want to hear songs they know. They want to have a good time,
I understand now. It is about having a good time, and you guys as a live show, that worked perfectly. But I read about this technology you used to take the live performance and then enhance it in ways that makes it sound. I listened to the CD, I had to really listen to realize that it was a live album. It sounded as much like a studio recording as many I've heard. How'd that all come together?
Well, the place we recorded in was the Opera House in Aspen, Colorado, and they got a brand new recording system in there. And we were the first to use it, so it came out very well. I mean, when I listened back a month later to all the takes and the recordings, I couldn't believe, honestly, how great the band plays. Because when you're on stage, you're singing away, I'm working with the band. I don't hear it as close as when you're listening to it on a record,
Uh-huh.
And the guys, my gosh, the drummer, Rayford, and Wally Minko on keyboards. Oh, my gosh, these guys, they're so damn good.
I've checked it out. Their musical paths are so diverse. They've done all different kind of stuff, and everyone in the band is world-class.
It's true. Jean-Luc, works with the best people, and it just worked out great. It's one of those things. It did take a little time over the beginning of the year and then making the video to go with the CD. It just took longer than we expected because we thought we'd be on tour probably around April or May this year. But, better late than never time. Here we are getting on the road again.
It's a great way to look at it, Jon.
Yep.
Now, Jean-Luc's lines on the Yes music on the album, Owner of a Lonely Heart, and You and I particularly, sound as if he could have been on the original tracks.
Yeah, he's a special guy. He's just very, very unique, and he can play. The violin is just unbelievable how good he is,
Ray Koob with Jon Anderson, and I'm going to have to ask this one because all the fans are going to want me to. Why, when you you did a whole rearrangement of A Time and a Word, why did you infuse that reggae feel into the version on this album?
Well, when I do my solo show, I tell a story about when I was in Jamaica. That's when I first started writing the song. And I was this is 1969. You know, I'd just been to see Bob Marley, and I was having a good time in Jamaica, as you do. And I started doing a reggae version of Time and a Word, and I took it to the band. And I remember Chris saying, "We don't do reggae, John. We don't do reggae." So I thought, hey, you know, these guys can play anything. I started singing it in the rehearsal, and they loved it.
Now, out of all the original compositions, which are really, really wonderful, Listening with Me and Renaissance of the Sun really seem perfect in the way that music rarely does, in the way it blends Jon Anderson's voice and Jean-Luc Ponty's violin playing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm happy you like Listening to Me is my favorite of the tracks. Lyrically, the lyrics just poured out when I sang on Jean-Luc's track. And I was just rehearsing it an hour ago in the studio, and I was just singing it and thinking, there's something about this song that's pure magic, you know?
Now, if you want to get a little taste of things and what's going on, you can actually go to the Anderson Ponty Facebook page. I saw you on there singing along a little bit, rehearsing with the audio from the recording. It's pretty cool.
True.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Along with the band.
Well, listen, John, we've had some interesting conversations over the last several years, and this part is not something I'm looking forward to. We're all saddened around the world, Yes fans everywhere, about the passing of your old mate Chris Squire earlier this year. And I don't know about you, I had no idea he was this sick or that sick. How did word reach you?
Well, I got information from Paul, who managed the band. He's a good friend. And he said, look, Chris is really not well. So I got in touch with Chris, and I actually said what I feel deep inside. I wouldn't be where I am but for Chris. You know, he was my musical brother. We started the band, and 35 years later, you know, we're still playing together. And the amazing thing to me was he was always happening on stage. He was always spot on. And he was really one of the great bass players, and he could sing as well, which was really good. So without him in my life, it just wouldn't have been the same. So I thanked him and thanked him, and he thought the same of me, and we had a good chat. And then we emailed a couple of times, and then when he was passing, you know, I was meditating, and I felt him going away that night, actually, and it was just a very miraculous moment for me, just so beautiful.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me and with the audience, too. You know, the relationship that you guys have had all these years with Philadelphia, it's a lot like family here with the Yes Babies.
It's true. It's a very special place. I remember those gigs so many times. There's just so much energy, and oh, my gosh.
Well, we'll do it again. The Anderson Ponty Band, the album is Better Late Than Never, and I love the attitude that goes with that. It's out on September 25th. Find it, buy it. You're a Yes fan or you're a Jon Anderson fan. You know you want it. And, John, always great to talk to you, and we will see you here October 27th at the Keswick Theater in Glenside, my man.
Looking forward to it. Thanks so much.